good day to you all out there. Right now, you're still tuned in and listening to Radio Global, and the program is Issues Affecting. And today on the program, we'll be talking about something that has come up again, story on the news and all of that. And still on the elections, 2015 Nigeria decides 2015. We are going to be looking at the issue of the preparedness of INEC, or the preparedness of Nigerians for the general election. We're not going to be putting it completely on INEC. How prepared are we for the coming election? So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and I'm not going to be alone. You can also be a part of it. After we come back on this short break, we will be going neck deep into the matter and trashing it out, airing our opinion and our views on the issue. So don't go nowhere, stay tuned to Radio Global. We'll be back, and I am Ini. Don't go nowhere.
It's Radio Global, redefining your radio experience.
At 20 years of age, I'm still looking for a dream. A war's already waged for my destiny, but you've already won the battle, and you've got great plans for me. Though I can't always see, 'cause I got a couple dents in my fender, got a couple rips in my jeans, try to fit the pieces together, but perfection is my enemy, and on my own I'm so clumsy. But on your shoulders I can see I'm free to be me. When I was just a girl, I thought I had it figured out. See, my life would turn out right, and I'd make it here somehow. But things don't always come that easy, and sometimes I would down. Oh, 'cause I got a couple dents in my fender, got a couple rips in my jeans, try to fit the pieces together, but perfection is my enemy, and on my own I'm so clumsy. But on your shoulders I can see I'm free to be me, and you're free to be you. Sometimes I believe that I can do anything, yet other times I think I've got nothing good to bring. But you look at my heart and you tell me that I've got all you seek. Oh, and it's easy to believe, even though I got a couple dents in my fender, got a couple rips in my jeans, try to fit the pieces together, but perfection is my enemy, and on my own I'm so clumsy. But on your shoulders I can see I got a couple dents in my fender, got a couple rips in my jeans, try to fit the pieces together, but perfection is my enemy, and on my own I'm so clumsy. But on your shoulders I can see I'm free to be me, and you're free to be you. there's a place that's blessed.
Now there's a place that's blessed,
Where we find happiness.
where we find happiness.
A place of Sabbath rest. A higher place of praise. We lift our hands and we've learned to dance and seems we've got the notion that we're going through the motions. Now tell me really, is that victory? Tell me. But there's a place I found and it's a much higher mountain. It wakes me early morning and I know it's Zion calling me into worship to give me life daily. Daily. Life's not the norm.
time to
Calm or storm. My spirit, my soul, and my flesh need this place of praise. Now there's a place that's blessed,
Now there's a place that's blessed,
where we find happiness.
where we find happiness.
A place of Sabbath rest. A higher place of praise. Now here's the story. No flesh can glory in His awesome presence. It's His holy name we reverence. This place is precious, powerful, and pure. So pure. Life's not the norm.
time to
Calm or storm. My spirit, my soul, and my flesh needs this place of praise. Praise. Now there's a place that's blessed.
good day to you. Welcome back in the program Issues Affecting. And before I went on that break, he said we are going to be talking about Nigeria's preparedness for the coming elections. And we are going to be talking, is the common man out there prepared? Is the common man out there ready? Is the common man out there aware of the things he or she needs to do concerning the elections 2015, which have been shifted and holding on 28? But as it is, stories are coming up that even for the 28, they still do not think they are ready. And before then, we also heard that it was shifted not because INEC as a body wasn't ready to conduct the elections as at February 14, but because the security agencies said they needed more time. They needed more time to be able to prepare themselves to ensure that they have each free and safe polls. So now, what's the issue coming up? What's the story now behind all of this? That now even March 28 and April 11 is still not sure for the conduct of the elections. I do not know. We can be a part of the program and adding our opinion, our contribution. And for people out there, have people gotten their PVCs? Have people been able to locate where they can vote, or know what they can do, or how eligible they are? All the points out there, just different questions arising here and there, questioning the preparedness of Nigerians, or even Nigeria as a whole, for the general elections. And I'm not alone here to talk about this matter. I also have guests. I also have people in the studio to join in, and I'd love to welcome all of them as we get to talk about this really important issue that's affecting every one of us here. So good day, everyone. Hello. Good day.
Good day to you.
Okay then, so anyway, and please let's just join in and talk about this. Like not too long ago, even the INEC chairman Jega said he's not too sure that the elections will be holding on the 28th of March. And what were his reasons for that? Lucky?
I think this problem is not all about INEC being ready or not. If I actually want to give my opinion on this, I'm going to say both the federal government, in terms of security-wise, and INEC weren't actually ready for this election, truth be said. Because if you look at the distribution ratio, of the permanent voters card, it was absolutely ridiculous in certain geographical regions in Nigeria. Talking about the southwest, Lagos for instance, I think it was less than 40% in Lagos. Yeah, at the point before the postponement of the election, it was less than 40%. I think it was like a 30, between 35, 36, 37, I think so. And in Oyo, it was the same thing, less than 50% in Osun, Ekiti, and some other states. But the distribution was very high in the northern states. I think like Borno, Borno, Kano, and some other states. I think it was closer to like 80% or 70-something%. So, in this case, if INEC is actually coming forward to say the election was postponed on account of security reasons, and the country is, it doesn't sound well in my ear. It's like I need to, force it to my eardrum. It doesn't sound well. And apart from that, the Nigerian security, seriously, they've not been doing too well. And many people, lives are lost on a daily basis, especially in the northern part of the country, talking about the northwest, northwestern part of the country.
Okay.
Northeast, I beg your pardon,
northeastern part. And also, not too long ago, Boko Haram released a video.
Yeah, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. Abubakar Shakal actually released a video and said this election that's going to be held on March 28 and April 11 will not be peaceful. And that's another scare.
and that video lasted for about like 11 minutes and 50 something seconds. They said that the elections would not be peaceful, and that also has put fear in the hearts of many concerning the elections, concerning if they would exercise their civil duties to go vote in a new leader or allow for continuity. Well, reading from the dailies, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Atairu Jega, on Wednesday reiterated his preparedness to conduct the general elections as scheduled, but maintained that only the military could guarantee the sanctity of March 28 and April 11 date. Jega, who appeared before the Senate to explain the level of INEC's preparedness for the elections, however, stunned many of the lawmakers when he revealed that 1 million permanent voter cards are yet to be received by the commission from the manufacturers. Can you imagine? The senators had thoroughly grilled him before he made about 3-hour presentation and demonstrated how the card reader works. Okay, so now, and he also further says that he was asked, responding to a question by the minority leader Senator George Akume, to give a clear assurance on the dates. Jega replied, "I think it is a very difficult question to answer. I said I have consistently said that there are things under the control of the Electoral Commission, and there are things that are not under the control of the Electoral Commission. For the things that are under our control, I can give definite and categorical assurances. On what is not under our control, it is futile, it is fruitless and useless to give a definite guarantee on them. I think that question should be directed appropriately. The questions of security, I will leave it. I don't think I am competent to answer it sufficiently."
True talk.
And that's what he said, still going for that to say. And when he was asked how he would respond if the security agency requested a further delay, Jega said doing so would be illegal. He then made references to a constitutional provision that requires election to be concluded at least 30 days before May 29, when a new government must be sworn in.
That's the only thing they're about holding on to right now.
Yes,
that
that's
guarantee that the elections
we hold.
Because if that provision is not there, I can almost say that we probably will not have elections this year.
Yes, with the way things are going.
And another thing is that so far I have noticed that Jega is quite the meticulous person. He wants everything to be ready, before he...
I don't think it is Jega from what he's saying here.
Well, he has his own role in it. INEC has their own role, because if you recall the press conference they held, apart from security reasons, he also mentioned the fact that sufficient PVCs have not been distributed.
Also, he mentioned here that they've not even received about 1 million voters card. They've not received it. So he mentioned
that fact. So that's the area I'm even looking at, aside from the ones that are not under his control. If you remember back in 2011 too, there were a lot of some things were not ready. He was being meticulous about a lot of things that had to do with INEC. And I've noticed that as much as that is good, it's becoming a weak point for him, wanting everything to be in place before going ahead to the next stage. I think it's becoming a weakness for him. But aside that, a lot of things are beyond his control. He can't help fault. The security issues that are in the country right now, like everywhere. You can imagine the threats saying that elections will not be peaceful. I, for one, if I get that kind of threat, I just might not go to the polling booths on that very day. So I'm not surprised that things are turning out the way they are. The only problem I would have is that this might impede on the democratic rule of the country. That's my only concern.
Yeah.
This might take a new dimension that nobody would see coming, and it will be a shocker, because it won't be palatable if things takes a downward spiral because of this delay, as
Okay.
they have called it. Let's just call it delay, because I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theory kind of person, but to me the whole thing looks like there's a conspiracy going on, and nobody seems to know exactly who is pulling the strings here right now, and things like that. That's just the way I see the situation.
Yeah, that's just it. And for Jega, he is saying that they are prepared, that the things under their control, under the control of INEC, he can guarantee that they are ready. But the things that are not under his control, he calls it fruitless, he calls it futile, and he calls it useless to give a definite date.
If something is not under your control, how can you speak for what you do not know?
Yes, that was actually
How
like
can you
the
speak
best
for
bet
what
for
you
him. He
don't
couldn't
know?
he couldn't
But
have
the thing
spoken
is that
for
he
it.
did not state the things that are within his control and the things that are not within
Yes,
his
he
control.
couldn't state
So
that.
that is the dicey part of it. He might say that okay, certain things are not within his control. What are the things that are not within the control?
Oh no.
To the normal view, he might have been referring to probably security issues or security basically. But aside that, if we want to examine the statement more and more, what if he was referring to maybe some other parties, pulling his agbada here and there, pulling his dragon and trying to get him to do certain things he doesn't want to do, and that's why he's holding back. We can't say there could be a conspiracy somewhere.
We do not want to delve into that since we do not have facts.
Yeah, of
we
course.
do not have facts. And he says for this question of security, he was going to leave it at that. That's what he said he was going to do. He then made further reference to still reading from there, he then made further reference to a constitutional provision that requires elections to be conducted 30 days before May 29th, swearing in, where a new government must come in. Every Nigerian knows we want election to hold within a constitutional time frame. The security agencies are made up of patriotic Nigerians. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt, he told the senators. That is giving them the benefit of the doubt that they will be ready to conduct the elections at the time they have agreed upon. He added, we should be fair also to the military. Soldiers are also patriotic Nigerians. I do not see how anyone will contemplate an extension beyond this 6 weeks. There is no constitutional grounds upon which you can do that. For us, we work by the constitution, by the law. That is what is guiding us, and we should all put the interest of the nation at heart. A human factor is always significant. The human factor is always significant. It is always important, but we believe that working together with security and other stakeholders, we should be able to prevent negative human intervention that can create problems. I kept saying consistently that INEC is not a security organization. We are an election management body, so we rely a lot on security to be able to ensure that things are done well and that there is no disruption of the electoral process. We have been working very closely with the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, and that is why for us, if the service chiefs say that we can't guarantee security, give us more time, what is the alternative security arrangements? That's what he's saying. He's saying that as far as they are concerned, when it comes to security, they cannot work without security. And if the security chiefs are saying give us more time, who are we to actually say no? Because where else would they get security from? Would they have to import it? No, they can't. They just have to wait for them. They just have to hold on. And Jega also said, we have done the functionality and durability test of the card readers with a local partner, with their technical partners in Texas. Okay, he also demonstrated how the card readers would work. Yeah, he demonstrated that in front of the Senate House, and he was summoned there to actually explain himself,
the whole
Yeah, with the whole postponement thing, because they actually went on a recess because of the elections, and they had to come back since the elections were postponed. So he was brought to explain himself. So he demonstrated to them how the card readers work, and he has explained why it was postponed. And now obviously it is on the security agencies, and he is saying that without the security agencies they cannot work, and the security agencies asked for extra time, and he is saying that INEC, as far as is concerned, the things are under their control.
They can't give any more extra time.
They can't give any more extra time. That's a fact.
It's either they are ready for the elections or we are not going to have elections.
No,
Yeah,
they
that's
can't.
what is there.
It has to be. And also it was also stated that interim government is not provided in the constitution.
True.
So election has to hold. Election must hold. It has to work according to constitution. If not, it's going to be something else. I do not want to imagine what's going to happen if the elections do not hold.
Yeah, I think I will also say big kudos to Jega. He's doing his best. We can't deny that. But I'm not too comfortable with certain statements he has made, was especially putting all the blames on the military, on the Nigerian. The reason, yeah, that might be the major reason, but there are several reasons why I think INEC should be blamed as well. Let's look at, like I said before, the distribution ratio before the postponement of the election. It was awful. It was so poor. Yeah.
The cards have not been properly distributed, and he doesn't think that it would be fair to have people's cards and then allow the election.
But that's what they said. That's what they said. The people actually came up with suggestion that if you're unable to distribute the permanent voters card, why not allow people to use their temporary voters card?
No, using a temporary voters card would actually give room for
election malpractices.
But the thing is, that is to say that INEC itself is not ready. Let's look at the statistics in the north, in a state like Bauchi, okay, where there is at least a slight insurgency over there. INEC was able to make 84.97% distribution. The ratio there was 84.97 distribution. Okay, now let's look at a state like Lagos, where there is no terrorism, everywhere is okay. The distribution was just 62.40. You can see the difference. Almost a quarter of the distribution in Bauchi. So in that case, how will you say INEC is prepared? We're talking about security, or we're talking about voting. If they could actually distribute a high number of permanent voters card in that region, what about a place where there is no crisis? That's the question now. So how ready are they?
Well, when it comes to population, Lagos is highly is densely populated,
and that's why it should be easier.
It's not going to be easier. You can't
Why?
You can't compare a place where you probably have maybe 5,000 people per square meter, compared to a place where you have almost 10,000 people per square meter. If you look at the percentage ratio, you'll be shocked that if you convert those percentages to amount of people that have the cards, they are almost the same thing. So if for instance in Lagos they are saying that okay, probably only 62% have gotten their cards, you can't say that they are not being efficient, because Lagos is a place that is very, very tactical. Let me put it that way, because the time where people are supposed to get their cards, a lot of people are working. You can't compare to a place like Bauchi, where the amount of working class is low as against Lagos, So there are a lot of challenges that are peculiar to Lagos State, for instance, that you won't find in the interlands. So if it's about that, of course, I'm not justifying the fact that a lot of people in Lagos have not gotten their voters card. There have even been cases of people whose cards have been collected on their behalf, and they managed to get there and they are told that their cards have been collected. Those are challenges that we really cannot say how and why those things are happening. But if we are going to be looking at distribution ratio, we should also be conscious of the number of people, estimated number of people.
I'm so glad you've actually come up with that. The question now is, if INEC realizes that Lagos has a domineering population, why don't they have more distribution centers in Lagos? Because if the question now is, if you could get like 62% in Lagos, that means the total number of voters or amount of voters will be slashed down drastically. That is what it implies.
Okay.
So in that sense, I don't think it's justified before INEC, to come out and say, okay, it's simply because Lagos is overpopulated or something, that's why we're unable to distribute, so quickly. The thing is, it's just simple knowledge. If you have so much population, you try and increase the number of PVC's collection over there, so that you will make it more efficient. So if INEC is putting the blame, totally on the security issues, that's what they've been saying. It's every news. Because INEC said it's ready.
I watched the press conference.
Okay.
And he did not totally put the blame on security. What he said was that there are security issues that need to be addressed. And
I'm sorry, Titi.
that was even after he mentioned the fact that the PVCs have not been distributed.
I'm sorry, Titi. I'm sorry, Titi. Let me put it this way. If someone said, okay, let's assume I'm INEC, you're the one in charge of security. I'm not saying, okay, the election should hold as normal on the specified date. I am ready, but on account of security issues, the election can't hold. What am I trying to say? That's the question now. INEC, they shouldn't deny that. They themselves are not ready.
No, I don't see them denying that fact.
The truth is, they themselves are not ready.
They are doing blame sharing.
Exactly. We shouldn't be.
I don't see them denying the fact that they are not fully ready.
We shouldn't be. In it, to be sincere, if INEC wants to say that it is ready to hold this election as stipulated, at least in every state they should have nothing less than 85% ratio of distribution.
Well,
exactly.
They say that they are ready, okay?
Yeah.
But I want to believe that their kind of ready is not the 100% kind of ready.
Exactly.
For them, they have gotten to a satisfactory point of ready, because he still stated it that they just received 1 million voters cards. So now you're telling me that if, for instance, if the elections have been conducted as at February 14, that means those voters cards that just come in void and stay in the INEC offices, and if they wouldn't be moved for whatever reason to actually distribute those cards since elections are already started, and that's for the thing is, 1 million people have been forcefully disenfranchised.
That's what
as it is, forcefully, because the cards were just being brought in by manufacturers, by the dealers, and it's not the fault of Nigerians.
It's not the fault of Nigerians.
Do you get the point? He is not saying that they do not have their fault. He has stated it out, but he's saying that as far as they are concerned, they could have gone ahead. That is not really so important.
It's not
a big problem for them.
A problem. That's the question now. Why would it be a problem when you have so many states where the distribution ratio is ridiculous? Why would it be a problem?
And only God knows how many more are still being produced.
Exactly.
That have not been done. That's just the ones that, well, so it's interesting.
It's a very difficult one. I'm not putting all the blames on INEC. They have problems. The Nigerian security people have their problems. So the only way we can actually make this work is for them to come together, and play out their parts right. If INEC is able to at least guarantee at least 85% of PVC distributions across all the states, at least, then we should be, calm and collected to say that the election can actually hold, as it should be.
Yeah, really. Just hope that the elections would be able to hold as they should be held. For March 28 as planned, and no further shifts or delay or postponement, and that's just gonna create something else in Nigeria. I don't know, I don't want to imagine, but all the same. And it has been an enlightening session, having to talk about this matter, having to trash it out, having to air our views on it, and that's it. It has been on the program Issues Affecting for today, and so grateful to people in the studio, Lucky and Double T, and Yeah, thank you so much for being on the program. And that's a wrap. And we have been talking about how prepared our Nigerians, not just Nigeria as a whole, INEC as a body, the security agencies, the political parties, and their various candidates and the rest of them. So how prepared are they? So just talking about that, and we have come to the end of Issues Affecting for today. So do make it a day, same time, same session with us tomorrow, as we'll bring up more issues where we get to talk about that are affecting us in the society, in the country, in the world at large. So do make it a date and stay tuned to Radio Global for more programs. I am your girl, Ini, signing out for now.